A very good afternoon and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. This is 12 September 2024 and we continue to take a look on what is happening in the nation of Zimbabwe. Dr. Mzembi has blasted the SADC presidents who came for the 44th summit and left a minor, Murikubata, incarcerated in the notorious adult maximum Uchikurubhi. So we need to take a look onto this issue raised by Dr. Mzembi. It's a very important issue. He says SADC presidents came for the 44th summit and left this minor Murikubata incarcerated in the notorious adult Uchikurubhi maximum security prison. They have met at least once after that mostly recent with President Mnangagwa at the FOCAC meeting in China. Still no check on whether Nicole was eventually released to prepare for her O-level exams, let alone the rest of the detainees locked up ironically in the on the Day of African Child commemorated on the 16th of June to mark the brutal felling of students in Soweto by the apartheid regime. Amongst the presidents was the Tanzanian president Suluhu Samia, a mother and matriarch figure in the male-dominated club who should be checking and following up with her newly ordained brother, chairman of SADC News, on the condition of this girl child whom she left holed up in an infamous adult prison. Many presidents whom went on a guided tour of our beautiful Zimbabwe, including official Masisi, who was a flabbergasted and owed by Murikubata farm, the president 7-star agrarian retreat, also forgot to put in a word for this child. Our founding fathers of SADC themselves, past frontline states president, would have asked for a prison tour, knowing their liberation credentials and mindset, as we all do, with some of them having spent 27 years in prison like Nelson Mandela. Cyril Ramaphosa's Menda. Cyril is probably too busy trying to balance things in his historical journey to worry about some girl he left in the dingy prison. After all, he wants 1 million of these illegal Zimbabweans out of sight soonest. President Idi Mnangagwa did 10 years, so the story of how prison hardens a minor's mind is not new to him. He himself is infamously accredited for being unforgiving because of what jail did to him as a minor in an adult prison, from which he escaped the gallows of by a whisker. Talk about unforgiveness. Some of us have lived it in exile for 7 years. So what happened to empathy and brotherhood in this SADC club, let alone peer review? Nicole deserves the fullness of her childhood stolen by prison and by adults who should know better. My guru, Zimfest lady, this is Maya Kusulia Mnangagwa. Mudzimaiwe naka muripi. I heard you say some mature stuff and cancel to a London reporter last night. Stand up for this girl, please, and reporter Tatenda. This is what Dr. Mzembi, and this is in relation to this young lady, Chabata, who is still in prison at this point in time. So, you know, guys, this is the kind of Zimbabwe we are now living in. And it's a very difficult situation for the people of Zimbabwe. No matter the circumstances, Nicole deserves bail. She deserves to be out. She deserves to be preparing for her examinations. She deserves to be preparing for her future. She can't be holed up in an adult prison just like that. So the issues being raised by Dr. Mzembi, no matter the differences, no matter what we feel or what we think, this is a reality. This is the truth. SADC leaders, they've actually neglected the people of Zimbabwe. We hoped that they were going to do something. Munyasho na izvikanzi zvimwe vanoda kuti muvanyorere tsamba semukoma wenyu muchivakumbira ruregerero muchivaudza kuti mapfidza kugara kunze kwenyika. Zveshuwa vanhu ngavaregererane inga kana ivo vakaregererwa wane nevarumbi. Okay. So this is a very important issue. Politics should not reach an extent of destroying livelihoods of other people. Politics must not do that. We must agree, disagree, fight and do everything else, but we must not fight each other to the level of degrading one of our own people. That is so wrong. If, for example, Job Sikala spent almost over a year in prison, and the major question is why? After all, if you look at the sentence he was then given after that, you would wonder why they kept him so long in that prison. Also, if you look at how he has been acquitted then by the High Court, you would wonder why they kept him so long in that prison. Fridenzo says, thank you for this message, Honorable Mzembi. I once graced a gathering where yourself and ED organized years back in Masvingo, ancient city to be specific. I saw a good leader in you. It's only the environment and as NPF where people like ED and others made it toxic. Thank you. Okay, the Tanzanian president, a top opposition official in Tanzania, Ali Kibao, was abducted from a bus by armed men over the weekend. He is now being found dead. His body showing signs of torture, acid poured on his face. The attack on critical voices in the country has escalated. This is another issue being raised in Tanzania. How can the Tanzanian president raise this critical point when she's being accused again of doing the same? What can that young girl protest to change in Zimbabwe? You know, this young girl, no one can prove that she was protesting about anything. This young girl never protested. There are several young people who were released there, minors who were released, who were not part and parcel of this whole charade. Why is she not released? That is something which is very important to note. So, you know, they're using divide and rule tactics. Some of the young people, but you see, these kids, they continue to be incarcerated, they continue to be punished. You ask questions why, you can't get answers. So this is what is happening. And this girl would never have plotted to demonstrate against anyone, even her school head. So, you know, personally, I feel sad. I feel sad for this young girl because she didn't commit the crime of which she is being accused of having committed. So we hope and believe that she will be given bail. We hope and believe that she will be let to go. Pakaregedzwa vamwe vangadai vakamuregedza mwana akaenda, but it is what it is. This is the kind of regime we have. This is the kind of leadership which we have, which does not listen to wise counsel. But what I want to say is hakuna chisingapere. Zvese zvatiri kuona zviri kuitika is one day the end shall come. So it is what it is. Continue to watch and see. Thank you very much, Dr. Mzembi, for raising this pertinent issue, for raising this important issue with SADC leaders. So this is a club of gangsters who do not believe in democracy, who simply believe kuti vanofana kungoramba varipo. It's like ndo vakatogadzirirwa chigaro chacho kana kuti zvigaro zvacho zveupresident. It looks like ndo vakazvigadzirirwa, because if you look at the circumstances and the scenario of elections in Zimbabwe, then vanhu veSADC vangadai vakaita zvine musoro, but as usual, this is who they are. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. Let us meet in other episodes and other broadcasts.